Hey guys, and welcome to World of Warships with William. In today's replay we'll be featuring the Tier 8 Russian premium cruiser, the Mikhail Kutuzov. As you know, with every video I show you, I'm usually trying to either teach you something or point out a thing that you should remember if you want to become a better warship captain. In this case, I would really like you to pay particular attention to the way I use terrain to my advantage. Right, so I'm starting at the southern side of the map Trap, and it's a domination mode. And as I really disliked going towards the A cap, and the B cap isn't usually a viable option at the beginning of the game, I decided to move north and try to secure the C cap for us. I'm using the F3 key to point the C cap to other players as my target and request their assistance. And as we're moving north, I'm thinking I would really like that Hatsuharu to join us. He would be an excellent spotter for any of those 3 destroyers that are on the enemy team. And that's what I write in the chat, but I believe that the Hatsuharu has other plans and he's not gonna join us. So I'm just gonna come out from behind this island on the left, and this is the crucial moment because this is the place where you are usually being spotted by enemy destroyers if you're a cruiser moving north from the position I started with. So you need to keep that in mind and be mindful of possible fire incoming. By this moment, as you can see on the map and in the chat, it turns out that most of the team decided to either hang around the B cap or move on A, and it's just me and the battleship that is right behind me moving in on C. So we need to adjust the plan and decide to assist the destroyers on the B cap with capping and help him defend. The first target that shows up is the Mehan. He's only 8 kilometers away and he shouldn't be a problem for me to pick off, but I'm also very mindful of the Amagi that just showed up from behind that island. He's 14 kilometers away and it's quite a deadly ship to have in front of you. So I'm trying to position myself so that that island right in front of me is shielding me from the Amagi's potential fire. And I keep on shelling the Mahan until it eats a torpedo from one of the destroyers. So again, I'm trying to make sure that I'm being protected from the Amagi's fire. It's only 11 kilometers away from me, so that's pretty dangerous. I'm slowing down here and just waiting for the opportune moment. There's the Mogami and an Atlanta on the other side, and I decided to use the smoke right now, and I'm just only slowly inching forward. I'm actually reversing, but I'm still got some momentum. I'm using the fact that the Mogami is shot and is being spotted by my team members, and I'm hiding in smoke, hoping to set fires and basically just do as much damage as possible. The Mogami just repaired, I just noticed that, so he becomes my priority. I want to set him on fire at least once, and that way I will be able to deal quite a lot of damage over time. One salvo, no joy. Second one coming out now, still no fire and no damage actually as well, which is a bit disappointing. But by now, as you can see, the Amagi is sailing right behind the other island there, so I'm safe from the Amagi. Atlanta is behind another island, and I just managed to set the Mogami on fire, so again, there are 4 enemies that are within range of attacking me, but only one, the Mogami, is actually able to do so, and that is one of the reasons why I wanted you to pay attention to how I use the terrain. I noticed that the Atlanta has started targeting our friendly turrets, and I quickly switched to AP and do what the Kutuzov does best, so citadeling inferior cruisers. And now that the Atlanta is done for, I switch back to HE and decide to continue shelling the Mogami, although I am mindful of the Miyako, which is not far away. Most importantly, now the Amagi comes out, so I realized I have to angle myself. But this is the moment when the Amagi shoots, and it turns out that he chose somebody else for his target, so I'm free to inflict more damage and set more fires. So far, 1 fire on the Amagi. I keep going. I'm angling myself against any potential fire coming from the Mogami. You saw that volley, there was 3 fires that I started, but unfortunately it was a bit too soon after the Amagi repaired, so unfortunately I didn't manage to keep those fires on. But now the Amagi has just repaired, and I already managed to set 1 fire. He's still targeting somebody else, so I still got a free rein to trying to start as many fires as possible. And again, I'm slowing down, keeping myself close to this island, protecting myself from the other 2 cruisers that are nearby. That's another fire. And now that I'm shielded from the Amagi, I can shift my attention to another target. I'm thinking about the Miyoko, and I'm using smoke to protect myself from the Mogami's fire. I don't want the Mogami to spot me. I'm switching to AP very quickly, hoping that I'll get a couple of citadel hits here. But I realized that in this position I might actually be exposed to torpedo attacks, so I don't stop. I create that smoke screen here, but keep going. And I see an opportunity to maybe torpedo the Miyoko, so I'm hesitating here, just waiting for the Miyoko to make up its mind with which way it wants to go. And now just using the smoke here to protect myself from being spotted by the Mogami. And again, I'm turning as tightly as possible. I want to get back to the position I was a minute ago, and hopefully finish off the Miyoko if my torpedoes will actually get any hits. But for now I'm safe, and I'm still waiting for the Miyoko. There we go, that's the torpedo hit right there. So again, I just used that little island to my right and this big island to my front to keep myself shielded from all enemy ships. I am mindful of the Miyoko coming out in a moment, so I do know that I can't really hang around here for too long. And I would be showing my broadside to the enemy cruiser if I stayed in that position, so I make a hard turn and move a little bit forward just to be a bit more angled in reference to the Miyoko. And Miyoko is really close now, it's just under 4 kilometers. And I realized that I cannot really keep on going straight because of the Mogami that is only about 6 or 5 kilometers away. So I angled myself as much as possible, and now just keep the island as a protector and prepare myself to shoot an AP volley on close range at the Miyoko, and rewarded by 1 citadel 4 hits. The quick reload on the Kutuzov is amazing for this. You can really punish cruisers who decide to be careless around you. So I did all the damage that I could, and I realized that now I'm a potential target for the Miyoko's torpedoes, so I need to move, and there's the torpedoes coming out. And I have to risk it, and I see that the Mogami is engaging the destroyers, so I'm safe to come out. And I keep my AP and just start shelling the Mogami and instantly get rewarded for it with a Citadel hit. Again, I'm using smoke here, and I don't intend to stay in the smoke. I just want to use the smoke to shield myself from the ships that are behind me. And just waiting now for the Mogami to give me a nice broadside. You saw me switching to HE rounds for a second there because the Mogami keeps on angling itself, and I don't want to bounce too many shells, and I don't want to waste time. I switched to HE, and now I will switch back to AP, and now I'm doing the same. As you can see, my AP rounds are ineffective at this angle, so I'm back to using HE rounds. And I realized that the Miyoko coming in from the west is moving in on me again, so I've overstayed my welcome in this position and I just need to keep going. These must be torpedoes from the Mogami, and kinda locks me in on this course for a while because they have to overtake me. But that's okay. Realizing the Mogami is getting out of my range of interest. And as soon as the torpedoes pass, I decide to make a turn. And this time the Miyoko is most likely going to be my next target. So effectively I managed to turn those two cruisers away and allowed my teammates to cap the sea cap. I'm on pretty low health right now, so I have to be really mindful of how I expose myself towards the enemies, and the fire that's raging on my deck is making me more visible, easier to spot, so I'm still detected by something. Most likely a destroyer, which is on the B-cap. So I'm thinking about engaging the Miyoko now, but I want to keep myself hidden for as long as possible. And now that I stop being spotted and my guns are almost turned around, I decide to engage the Miyoko, and hopefully I'm gonna set it on fire. And that's all I want. Now that the fire is set, I want to use the island right ahead of me again to shield myself from the Miyoko. The Miyoko repaired, so that's a signal for me to either set the Miyoko on fire or just use the fact that it's in such low health that I can pick it up, and that's exactly what happens. And again, you see here that the Mogami, which at this range could have quite easily picked me off, is being blocked by the island, and that was another conscious decision. And technically I could pursue the Mogami right now, but he is moving away, and he would be able to kite my approach in the sense that he would be at a big advantage by moving away from me, and my low health does not allow this. So I leave the Mogami be, as his cause right now makes him completely irrelevant to the battle. And I realized that I have to help our battleship on the B-cap, who is blocking the enemy destroyer from capping. I advise the Colorado to wait for me. Obviously I don't want him to stop completely, but just be mindful of the fact that I'm coming, and not do anything stupid until I reach the area. I'm still not spotted, and I want to refrain from shooting for as long as possible. I want to surprise the cruisers and the destroyer that is probably hiding in the cloud right ahead of me. Smoke cloud, that is. I want to surprise them, so I want them to not know that I'm coming for as long as possible. But I know I will be spotted in a moment now, and I'm preparing myself to shoot. I would really prefer to actually shoot the destroyer first, because he is a bigger threat to the Colorado than the cruisers, and thus the destroyer. He was stationary, but he's moving now. So I quickly open up on it, and I'm mindful of the fact that I'm exposing myself to the fire from the cruisers. That hit gets me the Confederate Award, which is always a good addition to my post-battle result screen. And I can hear splashes behind me, so the Mogami is in pursuit. I need to keep mindful of that. That means that I just need to keep going straight. I cannot really maneuver because I will expose myself to the Mogami behind me. The good news is that Fubuki's engines are damaged and he's obviously not using the last stand. That means that he's almost stationary. And now I see that smoke cloud ahead of me, and that is the smoke that the Fubuki used. And I'm planning to use it for my own defenses and advantage. So I'm steering inside the smoke, and now that I'm not spotted anymore, I refrain from shooting again until I'm actually in the smoke cloud, in order to not be a target for anyone. The Mogami behind me disappeared, so I'm not really sure where it is, but just check out what this Mikhail Kutuzov does. I'm shelling him now and I'm getting some hits. He is returning fire, but this is the moment where I'm entering the smoke cloud. I stop being spotted, and the enemy Kutuzov is still being spotted by my teammates. And this is excellent. I switch quickly to AP and just look what's gonna happen now. He was almost on full health when I started engaging him. And he made a fatal mistake by reversing and slowing down. He was thinking probably that I'm going to be an easy pick for him. But it was quite the opposite. And even though I'm not really getting citadel hits yet, I'm dealing quite a lot of damage. 10,000 so far in the last two salvos. Now I'm also mindful of that smoke cloud running out quite soon. I saw it quite some time ago, being late, so that means that it won't last for too long. And now this is a race against time, because the Kutuzov is speeding up and is trying to escape my fire, and I'm already spotted, so that means that the smoke cloud is dissipating, and with the last shot I actually managed to kill the Kutuzov off. Unfortunately, I was on such low health that it was pretty easy to predict that I'm going to die pretty soon. Pretty much as soon as the smoke cloud runs out. So, as the wreck of my ship goes down, I decide to stick around because so far it's been quite an interesting battle for me. I'm really curious if the two remaining ships on my team will manage to deal with the remaining cruiser on the enemy side. And by the looks of it, we have a pretty decent chance. I'm only writing in the chat here, hoping that I will convince the Chapayev captain of not risking it too much. The last known position of the York was to the Chapayev's left, so if he gets spotted, he might get citadeled. He won't probably get killed in the first salvo, but why risk it? We have a point advantage. All we need to do is just secure one of the points, and we will win. So I do try to convince him, but he's unresponsive in the chat, and well, that's the nature of random battles for you. I have to say, I really can't wait for the next season of ranked battles to show up, because random battles are very testing for me. And now I realize that the York must have died, and it's the Mogami that I was engaging a couple of minutes before that is the last one left alive. At least the Chapayev's captain is angling his ship a little bit. And now that the timer runs out, the game is won. So, let's move on to the final battle results screen to show you just how much carnage I managed to deal with in this ship. So, Confederate Award and the high caliber, 675,000 of profit and just under 9,000 of experience, with just over 400 of free experience. 225 hits on target with 1 torpedo hit, 2 kills, 16 fires set, and you will see how much damage those fires actually managed to deal. And I've also managed to secure myself 8 Citadel hits, which is quite a good result. So there's no surprise here, this game gave me the first place on the team with just under 3,000 of base experience. And moving on to the damage dealt, 149,000 and change, which is a pretty decent result in my books. And as you can see, 40,000 of this, just under 41,000 in fact, was fire damage, which is an excellent result. An interesting thing to notice and something to remember when sailing the Russian cruisers in general, but definitely the Kutuzov, is that 101 hits on target gave me 64,000 of AP damage, and I only managed to do half of that damage with 132 hits with HE rounds. So do not underestimate the AP rounds, and I honestly do recommend that you try shelling some battleship substructures with your AP rounds. They will deal a lot of damage and you'll be quite satisfied with this. Moving on to any premium captain's favorite tab, the profit, and I managed to cash in just under 600,000, and that's after all repairs and refits. So that's a pretty hefty amount of doubloons. So guys, I hope that I managed to show you just how effective you can be if you're mindful of your environment and you're using the environment to your advantage. There were moments there where I was facing more than one opponent, but I always made an effort to make sure to minimize the number of the enemies which were actually able to engage me, and that paid off in being able to pick my engagements and just use the fact that the Kutuzov is quite an agile cruiser, and I managed to not only contribute to the win of my team, but also earn quite a lot of money in the process. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please do give it a like down below. It motivates me to come up with new content, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. If only for one reason, and in a couple of days time I will be able to give you my thoughts on the brand new premium Russian cruiser that's coming out, the Molotov. For now I can't really talk about it, the ship yet, but believe me, it's quite an interesting one. So for now I just say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the open seas.